Good evening. We already had too many people playing music here, so I'll just have to speak again. But I'd like to take you on a musical journey, a biography of a musician. Not a great musician. In fact, I feel guilty even calling myself a musician. That's right, I've been known to play a little guitar. I've also been known to play a big guitar. In fact, I'll play just about any guitar. The problem is, I won't play it very well. I can wail on the axe as well as the next guy, even better if the next guy's lost a couple of fingers in an industrial accident. But like many other mediocre guitar players, I once had dreams. As a boy, I was enrolled in piano lessons by my parents, who hoped to foster my young talents. I spent more time hiding under the piano bench to avoid practicing than I ever did playing. But I grew older and developed an appreciation for the guitar. This appreciation seemed to coincide with my growing interest in girls. You see, there was always something cool about a guy who could milk a tune from an old six-string. At parties, while the guys stood back and rolled their eyes, the girls seemed to gravitate towards the guitar player. It was clear that I must learn how to play the guitar. And so I did. At 16, I picked up my dad's guitar and started to play, but it didn't happen overnight. I played until my fingers were raw and sore, and my family listened till their eardrums were raw and sore. I'd wake in the middle of the night to gaze at chord diagrams or rise early in the morning to plunk away at songs from my dad's Dylan or Lightfoot books. I improved enough to boldly include the guitar as part of my image. I was the tortured musician, too concerned with my art to worry about such things as grooming and fashion. Long hair, poncho, ripped jeans, lugging a guitar around to parties. And those who know me are probably thinking not much has changed. I became part of the scene, sitting around the fire with other aspiring musicians, playing our own renditions of Cat Stevens and Neil Young tunes. But my first big break came at the gravel pit party at St. Joseph Island. What was meant to be a small gathering of high school musicians turned out to be the mini Woodstock of Northern Ontario. Hey, maybe some of you were there. Maybe some of you were born there, I'm not sure. Plywood laid across the beds of two pickup trucks made the stage. Generators, lights, and a powerful sound system transformed a gravel pit in the middle of the bush into a concert venue. 30 or 40 friends and parents gathered for a concert of homegrown talent. But word got out that something was going on at the gravel pit. Strangers arrived with blankets and coolers of beer. Darkness fell and the first act hit the stage. These guys were pros. Some had been playing since grade 9. And wow, the stage, the lights, the sound, everything worked. It was a cool scene, a gravel pit surrounded by trees on a warm August night. From a homemade stage came homemade music whose imperfections mingled with the rough-hewn mood of the whole evening. I was terrified. I decided to wait till later on to make my debut, to give people a chance to brace themselves with a few stiff drinks. But the longer I waited, the more people arrived. They just kept coming. From neighboring camps and houses, from the bar, the hotel, every party on the island had found its way to the gravel pit. And I still had to play. Trembling under the hot lights, I stared out into the sea of faces. There were literally hundreds in the audience, but from where I stood, it looked more like 70,000. I hardly remember playing. I just remember finishing the last of my 5 or 6 songs and hearing applause. Thank goodness. With the weight of performing off my shoulders, I could stand back and enjoy the other performers, some good, some bad. The party burned into the evening. Generators were refueled, amps and lights illuminated the night with sound and light. The hours drifted by. Crowds eventually dispersed. Instruments and equipment were packed away, leaving the gravel pit in silent darkness. The next morning, a police officer knocked on my door. "Is your name James Smedley?" he asked. "Yes. Were you involved in an outdoor concert at a gravel pit?" "I sure was." At this point, I figured the cop was here to escort me to some big-name music producer. There must have been some scouts at the gravel pit party. "I think you and your friends should go out and clean up the mess out there." Oh, okay. It was then that I realized, in my youthful wisdom, I'd written a song list on the back of an old envelope with my name and address on it, and left it at the gravel pit. But even while picking up empties and broken glass, I was undeterred. I went over the evening 1,000 times. What a great beginning to a brilliant career. I didn't know it then, but my premier performance at the gravel pit party would turn out to be the high point of my career. Sure, I've played other venues, bars, university pub nights. I've even been paid to play. I've even played in Hawk Junction. But back in high school, at the serendipitous mini Woodstock, a naive optimism made me a musician on the brink of stardom. But those expectations have long since been eroded by reality. I still play guitar, but more often than not, my only audience is our dog. Sadly, the dog is starting to go deaf, and I'm not sure if there's a connection there. I also share the joy of playing with my 2 daughters, and already they're better than I am. But I'd like to think that I've taught them a thing or two. Like if you ever play at an illegal gathering in the woods or in a gravel pit, don't leave an envelope with your name and address at the scene of the crime. Thank you very much.